everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of, a podcast about movies, TV shows, video games, and lots of pop culture and nerd things. My name is Oscar B, one of your hosts today, and with me per usual are all of your hosts. We got Alex, also known as, who are you? The Brawn and the Dad. Also, Brian, also known as the Beard, and new reliable in the Spider-Man villain, Mr. Negative on a Dragon Ball Z Redemption arc, and Devin, the Brains, also known as Mr. Nowhere. We're all here. Hello, everyone.
What is Oscar?
Hell yeah. Episode 150. It's been 3 years. And we got no time to celebrate. So we got to keep on 3 years.
Lots of stuff today.
3 years, yeah. So thank you for listening, listeners. 150. It's been a lot of fun.
Fuck
But
yeah.
how are you guys doing very quickly? How are y'all feeling? We're all very tired, I think.
I'm doing amazing.
Yes, always that.
Life be life.
Always tired. Always at 30%. And with that, though, guys, listeners, first, check time codes if you want to skip sections or spoilers or anything like that. It's all down there. And then also, guys, should we just hop to it, our first segment of the week?
Hop 2.
Let's do it.
News talk.
First piece of news, obviously, listeners, we'll get to Comic-Con in a second. But one thing also came out that was kind of big, I would imagine. Remember how with the guys, there was a big old actors strike last year and a writer's strike? Well, now there's another actor strike. This is specifically a video game voice actor strike. Yeah, they officially went on strike, I think, on the 26th of July. And the main issue, like a lot of things we've been talking about as of late, is their problems with AI. They want a lot of safety precautions when it comes to that, so that they don't get robbed
Makes
and
sense.
used.
Because, big companies won't get off the nuts of AI. And they won't get off the nuts of AI and using it ethically. So that's fun.
Yeah. So as much as like the slowdown of movies and TV were when that strike was happening, we might not get a lot of video games depending on how long this goes. Because this
Could
impacts
be a lot of puzzle games.
pretty
a lot of RPGs, pixel remasters.
a lot of text-based games, guys.
No, I mean,
Because
I don't want to say the good news, but in news is video game development takes so long that they could probably push it out without it being much of an issue to anything that's coming out
Probably.
soonish. But it's still, I'm sure it's not in the company's best interest to keep this going on long, especially because we saw kind of how it affected the movie industry and TV industry as much as it did. So
Yeah, hopefully they can come to an agreement and everybody gets some fair wages here.
Yeah. Let's hope so, because it definitely affects like pretty much all of the big major game studios in terms of like Activision and all of them and stuff.
That makes sense.
Disney, EA, Insomniac, Take-Two, WB Games, a lot of that stuff, which are a lot of video games.
I was about to say that is the AAA games.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I haven't done too much digging about this, but I know that AI stuff was a part of the negotiations last year with actors and stuff. So I wonder what was the tipping point for them to strike all of a sudden after they somewhat recently
I think probably specifically because all of those things had to do with not video game stuff. I think that was all just
really? Okay.
Specifically film and TV based things.
Gotcha.
And the voice actors and performance actors, something they do mocap, whatever.
Sure.
I don't think it was all included in any of that stuff. So.
Interesting.
Maybe they assumed that based on what happened with all that last year, they'd be like, video games too, right? And they were like, actually, we would like to continue doing that. Fuck you guys.
No, strike. That's cool.
So
I support
hopefully
that.
It's all good. Hopefully it doesn't last as long. Hopefully they learned from last year that it all
hopefully
is better.
We support a strike though.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on. It is Comic-Con 2024 San Diego. They're back. Marvel. They're back in a big way. They had a giant Hall H panel, took over the weekend. A couple highlights before we get to the big boy in the room. Obviously, there was a Deadpool and Wolverine panel. They showed the whole movie, and then no spoilers, because we're going to talk about it later in the show. They brought out a lot of different cameos that were in the movie. Actors were on stage as well, so that was very fun for people to see. Very cool. That's pretty much that. Nothing else that really happened. Captain America: Brave New World coming out next February. They showed off some more footage. Yeah.
It's another
everyone was there.
Captain movie. Wait, It's gonna be
this is Falcon.
Yeah,
Anthony Mackie.
Captain Falcon.
Falcon America.
Why is that?
It's Black Falcon.
Yeah.
Shit. Hold on. Why am I Black Falcon? That's cool.
Yeah, so they were there. They show Harrison Ford himself was there. You know, I think since it's there, I think everyone kind of knows who he's playing.
Why
he's the president, but he's also another major character. That is
Harrison Ford. What is he doing?
Yeah,
he right?
Yeah, he's recasted. He's taking over the role of Thunderbolt Ross, the guy that's always after the Hulk in those movies with the mustache. Because William Hurt passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Harrison Ford is the new Thunderbolt Ross,
and Harrison Ford is doing his best, which you don't see very often.
That poor
in 2024. So
he looks like he's trying. He looks like he's having fun.
yeah. I don't know why this is getting his.
The man is
Jimmy's
like
rocking.
78 years old.
Yeah,
Jesus,
he's pretty old.
Yeah. Apparently they showed off a lot of stuff in terms of we're gonna get the origin of the MCU's adamantium, which is what Wolverine is made out of in this movie. We also got the reveal of who the fuck Giancarlo Esposito is playing. He is playing the leader of the Serpent Society, aka Sidewinder, a character that absolutely no one knows. So it doesn't really matter.
He was right when he said no one's gonna guess who this villain is.
He's right.
Yeah, I would not.
Because I don't even think he knows who he's playing.
That's a pretty good bit. I salute you.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. I'm excited for this movie. I think if they can get back to that espionage, Winter Soldier, Civil War vibe, and I think Mackie can pull it off, this could be good. This could be very cool.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed the TV show. That was one of the last ones I did enjoy. It was a little generic, but I thought it had some cool ideas.
And there's a lot of characters coming back from that, including Isaiah, the kind of first Captain America that they introduced, the black man that they experimented on in the, what was it, the 50s,
Korean
60s,
War,
something like that.
Yeah,
something like that. He's back in a big way, and I'm glad to see him because that dude's sick. Thunderbolts, the team up movie, a bunch of losers that have to tackle. It's a Suicide Squad. It's a Suicide Squad without a bomb in their head. They're a bunch of idiots that have to try to take down a giant evil thing.
Call them a bunch of idiots is crazy.
Yeah, apparently all the footage here, they showed some stunt stuff off. They look good. Everyone seems to know that they're probably going to go after a character named Sentry, which is, I don't know if it's been cast. I can't remember. But I think he's kind of like a Superman-esque character in Marvel. So how the fuck characters like this Black Widow, Bucky, the bad Captain America from that Falcon show, Taskmaster, Red Guardian, Ghost from the second Ant-Man movie are gonna be a Superman-esque character. I don't know.
Interesting.
It'd be fun to watch though.
But Bucky's gonna work heavy on this one. Bucky's gonna carry this one.
He's gonna have to carry the team
because I don't feel like Bad Captain America was all that strong.
No, he was not strong at all. Yeah. So I mean, Red Guardian also I think he's got some super soldier serum sort of in him. He's like the Russian Captain America. But yeah, I don't know what the hell they're gonna. It should be fun to watch though if it's creative enough. I hope so.
Sure.
I hope so. And this is where we get into the big stuff. First one being the Fantastic Four with a new title, First Steps. Yeah, the whole cast was there.
First
Pedro Pascal, everyone's favorite dad, I guess, stepping into the role of Reed Richards. Taking place in a retro future 60s. They showed off some like concept footage that I think they had filmed it specifically for Comic-Con. So a lot of this stuff all leaked. We got our first glimpse of Galactus, which is a big head man, big eyes. So they're doing the thing. They're not doing a big black cloud in the sky like they did in the past.
I remember that. That was weird.
Ooh.
I'm excited. I really want this movie to be good. And judging from the reactions of what they saw in that panel, people are saying I think this team is going to cook, and I hope it does.
Word.
It does.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I like the name. The title kind of sucks to me.
I think it's kind of boring too.
Is it a play on words? I'm trying to think of what it could be a play on words with.
I'm assuming it's because they're going to go to the moon.
The moon landing? type
stuff.
The 60s moon landing was what we're playing off of.
Yeah,
I think
that's what they're playing off. I also think it's kind of boring.
Yeah. You know, I've never really been a big Fantastic Four fan. They're kind of corny.
I agree.
But I for some reason, when this movie first was getting talked about a couple of years ago or whenever that was, I've been really excited since.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be good. I think they start production on today. I think they start today.
Way to
in
go.
London. So
bravo.
Hopefully it's good. Comes out next year from now around, I think.
That's crazy. They just started shooting?
Yeah, it's supposed to come out, I think, the 25th of July, 2025.
No. That's crazy.
Oh, no.
I feel like post-production alone.
If that date scares you, let's get into these last two announcements, because these are even more terrifying, and I don't think they're going to stick. There's no way. They announced the next two Avengers movies. Obviously, we knew that originally it was Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and then one man threw that all away. And the other one was Avengers Secret Wars. We still have Secret Wars, but the first one has now been renamed Avengers Doomsday. Everyone's been right. They're definitely pivoting to Doctor Doom and away from Kang, because not only did obviously the actor not work out, that character overall was not working out. He wasn't Ant-Man 3. He got beat by ants. Loki stuff. Whatever. It didn't really work. It wasn't working in the way they wanted. So, and I think I personally think Doctor Doom is a cooler character, you know. But
he's pretty classic.
Yeah. One of the big piece of news is they are bringing back the Russo brothers, who did Captain America: Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Infinity War and Endgame. So that's cool. I know they've been wanting to do specifically Secret Wars, so that's going to be fun for them. I'm excited for that. And then obviously they revealed the big thing that shocked the world. They casted Doctor Doom for Doomsday, and it is none other than Jared Leto. No. It is none other than Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man himself. He's back. What are we doing?
I got a couple questions.
I'm hoping we're going. It's nothing that's to do with any kind of variance, any kind of multiverse, and it's just they're putting another character and pretending he wasn't someone else in the MCU. Because otherwise,
that's what you want.
Yes,
you just want it to be like he's just an actor playing Benjamin Frank.
He's just Dr. Doom.
Doom. It's just Thanos and Cable. It's just two characters that happen to be in a similar world. Whatever. I don't care, because the other idea of what it will be, it's some version of Iron Man being Dr. Doom. I mean, I know there was a comic where Dr. Doom was Iron Man at one point. That whole kind of, I don't want to play with that. I want to get further away from this core. It's giving me very like Star Wars, like Skywalker saga, where it's like, can we just get the fuck away from this?
No.
Like, yes, I know that's what everyone likes. You want to get back to the nostalgia. It's too early to get back to nostalgia. Last movie came out in 2019, didn't it? Something like that. Like, fucking.
Yeah, it's only been 5 years.
Like, please move somewhere else. Like, I don't know.
What you're saying sounds nice, but I'm sure you will not be happy.
I know. That's the worst part.
Look, I will say, they have been saying he is playing Victor Von Doom. No one has said he is playing an Iron Man variant, a Tony Stark variant, a blah blah variant.
Okay.
So, my biggest question is, one, is he going to be in Fantastic Four? Like,
that's a good question.
I feel like you have.
I don't know.
That's the villain.
Maybe they got to.
There'll probably be like a post credits thing. Unfortunately, but
and then the other thing is, I kind of want him to be. Not even. I don't think he needs to be a Tony Stark variant. He could be a Doctor Doom variant, only because I would imagine they're not going to have 60-year-old Robert Downey Jr. stick around for another 10 years.
Right.
And I don't want. And if that's not the case, I don't want Doctor Doom to be in this universe for 2 movies and nothing else.
Well,
you know?
I mean,
here's
King the Conqueror was.
I'm thinking because remember how I haven't seen it yet, but in Oppenheimer he looked very different than he does now, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering if they just hopefully. I agree with Brian though. I want it to be Victor Von Doom. I don't want it to be Tony Stark as some kind of variant of,
right?
Iron Man variant as Doctor Doom. So, I don't know. It strikes me as a little weird, a little safe, maybe. I'm not really sure.
My thing is, if you do it as a variant, that's still bad. Because, like you said, you don't want it to be for the next 10 years, but we want to get something that is an establishment of like the next 10 years. I assume, ideally, that's going to make this movie a throwaway. Why do I want another throwaway movie? We've had so many throwaway movies. Stop.
Yeah. Right.
And it did say
my thing,
Doomsday, so it's going to be, I don't know, because he could be the villain for a couple of Avengers movies. Or more.
Well, I definitely think he'll I'm pretty sure he'll be in the main villain in Secret Wars as well. Doctor Doom is a major player in Secret Wars, the comic as well. So he'll be the main antagonist in both. Again, Secret Wars deals with variants and multiverse stuff. Again, I would hope that maybe that's the end of Robert Downey Jr. And in that movie, you also introduce another Doctor Doom to take over.
I was going to say
that's not.
Does he have
65 years old?
Does he have a son? Is going to be a Green Goblin Hobgoblin situation where he's just like,
I don't know.
Fuck you for hating my dad. Now I hate you.
Probably, I could see that.
Because they're not going to stop making Fantastic Four movies.
If this is actually based in the 60s, and they're going to have to tie these characters in with the characters of Secret Wars and all of the MCU, like present day people, so they're going to have to like catapult them through time. But yeah, I could see this being like like the Victor's father or grandfather or cousin or something.
Or cousin?
Probably not cousin. Cousin's crazy, but maybe it's his uncle. And then Robert Downey Jr. plays Uncle Doom. And then Victor comes in later and is like, "You killed my uncle, Uncle Ben."
I don't know. It'll be. Look at Marvel. They're clearly going back to the well. They need a win. They're like, this is a safe bet. Getting the Russo brothers back, getting Robert Downey Jr. back. I think I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm happy the Russo brothers back. Look, it's fun to see, even though it's been 5 years. It hasn't felt like it's been 5 years since Iron Man died. It feels like it was yesterday, and so it's like it feels like it's a little soon. But this movie again isn't supposed to come out for 2 years, and I would be surprised if it came out even then. It didn't get pushed another year or so. But I don't know. I think if they're bringing Robert Jr. back, we're probably going to get another version of Iron Man back as well. I think he'll play multiple different characters.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see. So, exciting stuff. Secret Wars, Doomsday. Very cool. Is Marvel back, guys? Are they back?
No. We'll see.
We'll see.
Who else would you have casted? Who else do you think out there they could have casted for Doctor Doom?
Oh God.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Tyrese.
Honestly.
The memes are saying what the guy Oscar said.
Jared Leto?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Jared Leto be terrible.
I think he's egotistical enough to be Doctor Doom.
you know who I could see actually is the guy. This is gonna sound crazy. The guy with the eyelashes from Lost. I know you know who I'm talking about, Oscar.
With the eyelashes is crazy.
Oh,
I don't know his name, but he's a great actor. He's got this look in his eyes. He's maybe a little crazy.
Lost. Who the fuck?
He's a really handsome guy, but he just looks like this isn't a bad thing. His eyelashes just look really dark, and it looks like he's wearing mascara.
Maybe
he's in the Nolan Batman movies.
Yeah.
Devin, he was in Shogun. He was the Portuguese guy on the ship.
Yeah, the Portuguese guy.
Yeah, Portuguese guy.
Yeah,
I could see him being Dr.
That's funny.
Yeah, he could be Dr. Doom, I bet. I don't know. I mean,
let's face it. Doctor Doom is 99% eyes when he's in that mask. So that'd be a piercing look, you know?
If he keeps the mask on the whole time, then I'm even more fine with this. But if they take it off and he's going to be doing stuff around town, then, you know.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's the big thing is, will Robert Downey Jr. even go to set?
Iron Man.
I'm sure it would be a little. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Makes me want to see it.
Some other guys, but anyway.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from Marvel, real quick. The Boys universe, a show that was notorious for making fun of shit like the MCU and all their spinoffs, has just announced another spinoff in their universe.
Wrap it up.
So they've announced a show called Vought Rising. It is a prequel series to The Boys, starring Soldier Boy and Stormfront from season 3, which
Soldier Boy?
I love.
This is not Soldier Boy. Tell him
you
from 2000s. I have not
Soldier
watched...
Boy, not Soldier Boy.
Yeah, my bad. Soldier. I have not watched any of the boys, but it's like, yo, if Soldier Boy is in the show, I might watch
it. No, this one, yeah, it's gonna be obviously the origins of Vought from the 50s with all of that, which we saw glimpses of in some of the seasons of The Boys. Cool. I really love Aya Cash, who played Stormfront. I love her as an actor. She's really fun, so I'm glad to see her back. Again, we've talked about, I was so happy when they announced that The Boys was ending, and that's one less show to watch. And then this happens, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
The cycle continues.
I was about to say, I'm kind of torn with it as a whole, because honestly, I thought Gen V was very good, and I'm glad I watched it, even though I was kind of nervous that it was a spinoff. I actually think I liked the first season of Gen V more than I've liked this most recent season of The Boys so far. So I think it's telling a more interesting story, so that's making me like, maybe I shouldn't be upset that this is coming out, because maybe I like it more than The Boys.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. All right, so that's The Boys. And the last thing we're going to cover, but first, we got to head to the trailer park, so let's go.
Bob's Pacetti.
That's what I got for you.
Lovely.
That was a quick drive.
The Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power. Season 2. Trailer is here. Devin.
Oh.
What do you... I'm going straight to you, Devin.
Are you guys
no
excited?
spoilers. No spoilers. I know you love to. You should be the spoiler. I know you love it. No spoilers. What'd you think of this trailer?
Well, I'd hate to fall for another trick, but it looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good.
You guys both didn't really like the first season, did you?
The first season was abominable. That shit was
Brian hated
disastrous.
Brian hated it. Me and Devin liked it, and then Devin slowly started to like it less.
I thought it was cool. It was a good time.
I think it was good.
That was the most boring shit I've watched on TV in a long time. That shit was nothing sandwich.
My main problem with it over time has been how, when you look back on it 20 years from now, you're going to be like, oh, that's a 2020 show. Like, it's formulaic. There's 3 to 4 plot lines. They're all going to intersect at some point. It's not Lord of the Rings, where it's like, just tell the story. So I don't know.
I hate that I had to sit there and fight racists on the internet for like 3 months for that show to be mid as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
was bad.
Ridiculous. But anyway, so I don't know. It's going to be well done. Like, the production quality is high. So I'm just curious, plot wise and stuff. The only real note I have from this is, like, it looks like they're doing another cavalry charge, which looked really cool in the trailer for the first season as well. And then it sucked. Like, the actual battle there sucked. So I'm curious if they're going to do that again. Like, because it looks cheaper than, like, the Ride of the Rohirrim or something, which, like, it's always going to be cheaper than the Ride of Rohirrim, right? Like,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
So I'm cautiously optimistic. As usual.
Like, oh yeah, definitely. I know.
If anything, this is a very well made trailer. I will give them that.
Very well
this,
made.
this,
The
this got me hyped.
Quality will be high. So I don't know. Cautiously optimistic, but I probably will be let down again.
Do we know if they spent another $10 trillion on this one, or did they cut the budget?
Probably.
Really?
I don't know.
They're like, well, let's try this again. This worked really well the first time.
Yeah, that'd be surprising to see the numbers of that.
It's Amazon. They have literally unlimited money.
That's true.
So
they're basically a bank at this point.
Yeah.
I just wish it would be good, but it's going to be formulaic again, I think.
Yeah, I hope they've learned some lessons. I don't know. A couple highlights. Get to see Lady Ents, which are acknowledged in Lord of the Rings, but never actually seen because they lost them. They don't know where they went, and we get to see them in this, which is kind of fun.
They lost them.
Tom Bombadil is in this, talking to the stranger, who we all know is 1,000% Gandalf. The Balrog,
maybe one of the biggest mistakes. Just make him one of the blue wizards, but whatever.
Yeah, probably. Sauron's back, sporting his look. His great, his beautiful wig. He's got lots of wigs going on. I guess my question is, like, no spoilers, but it's so funny how they acknowledge it in the trailer where they know Sauron had a effect making these rings, and they're still wearing them openly, choosing to wear them. And now everyone's like, "What are y'all doing? Why are y'all doing this?"
Yeah,
so I'm excited to see how they how they approach that.
That's just so frustrating. Lord of the Rings is like a story is so frustrating.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is that in the original story, I believe Celebrimbor was manipulated the whole time, right? With Sauron. They already revealed him in the first seasons, and now it looks like Celebrimbor is going to be very complicit, know that it's Sauron the whole time.
That's what I'm confused about.
I'm curious how they're going to square that.
Yeah.
Because in the story, Celebrimbor was, he thought he was doing a good thing the whole time, but then here it looks like it's oh, you definitely know that you're working with Sauron. So that's going to be a weird thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. August 29th, season 2. Hopefully it's better than season 1.
I'll watch it just so I can make fun of it.
It looks fun again.
It looks fun. Great trailer. I'll give them to them. It's a great trailer, if not a great trailer. All right, that is the news, everyone. Lots of Comic-Con stuff. That's a trailer part of the news, which means, guys, shall we now move into our main topic of the week?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for a little bit. I'll see you later.
Yeah. We'll see you in a bit. All right, guys, it is time for our main topic of the week. Perfectly segued from our major piece of news we were just talking about. But first, we are trapped in yet again another Fourtress. This is the Fourtress. I'm not gonna lie, that's overall been on a downswing. I think we'd all say the past couple of years. It hasn't been looking that great. But could this be, the shot that it needs? Because we're in the Fourtress of
Deadpool
and Wolverine, and how Disney stole Fox and could be a monopoly.
R.I.P.
Right.
Yeah. Is it officially Deadpool versus Wolverine or Deadpool and Wolverine?
And Wolverine.
Okay.
And Wolverine. Yeah. Deadpool and Wolverine listeners, the one and only Marvel Studios MCU movie that is coming out this year. They're putting it all on this, which is probably for the best. Take a break, take some time, figure your shit out. Yeah, and obviously Deadpool's first Marvel MCU movie, obviously being owned by Fox. Now Marvel or Disney owns Fox, and so they have the now unlimited roster of characters to choose from, mainly the X-Men. And obviously the big thing being the return of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine since 2017, which blows my mind that it was 2017 was when Logan came out. That's time is fucked. So 7 years since we've seen him. He's now, I think, 55 years old. And he's back. If you've seen the trailer, he's wearing yellow. We'll get more into it and everything. But yeah, non-spoilers first. Devin, since I think you're the freshest, you think you literally just saw it today.
I did.
How do you feel? How you feeling?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was the first Marvel movie in a long time that didn't feel like a homework assignment. Didn't feel like it's I got to drag myself to the theater to see this one. Genuinely excited, and I think they pulled it off. I think it was I just thought it was really good. I thought and especially some of the cameos and stuff was really did not see coming, which was fantastic. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the action was good, and somehow found a way to kind of keep stale, because I think I had to warm into it a little bit. I wasn't really laughing at first, but then there were a couple of Deadpool jokes, a couple of moments that just by the end I was just cackling at pretty much everything. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'll quickly go next. I will say I thoroughly enjoyed this. I was just had the biggest smile on my face, I think, from start to finish. It was just, I don't know. It's just it warmed my soul watching this movie. Also, it does say that Hugh Jackman is one of my favorite actors. He's my boy. I love Hugh Jackman. And I don't know. I think, honestly, there's a big conversation talking about whether or not the Deadpool trilogy is one of the best trilogies, not just in superheroes, but in general. I don't think there's a bad movie among the three. But up and down every now and then. But solid 3 movies. And I will say, I really liked it. And I think Ryan Reynolds is just in his bag in this movie, nonstop. So I will say, if that's not your thing, if you did not like Deadpool 1 and 2, you will not like this one. But because he's nonstop. And again, just Hugh Jackman is just, he is this character. In every way, shape, or form, he has found a way to bring subtle nuances to this that we'll talk about in spoilers that are just Yeah, he is Logan. He is Wolverine. He knows this character inside and out. He should. He's been playing it for 25 years nearly at this point.
Till you're 90.
And yeah, I thought, all right, until you're 90. Yeah, I thought most of the action I thought was very cool. There's one particular fight scene that I was like, this is kind of very fun and creative. Some of it is a little generic, and I would at times, and I would blame that on maybe the director. I don't know if he has a very. That was the one thing I was worried about because it's the same director, Sean Levy. I don't remember how you pronounce it, who did Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds as well, and he doesn't really have a specific style in my. And so I was like, I don't know if this will be. Because obviously the first two Deadpool movies, like they have style. There's a certain like flair to a lot of the action in those movies. And I think for the most part they did it, but there's some parts in this where I was like, a lot of this looks like a bunch of, extras fighting extras a little bit at times. But again, I loved it. I thought it was very funny. I thought, again, the cameos were amazing. Some of them I could not believe. Some of them I was like, I know this person's got to be in there somewhere. And then... yeah, I guess, like, honestly, the weakest link is probably the story, or the villain. Like every other Marvel movie, the villain's probably the weakest part, which is too bad, because I think the villain, she is great. I thought, or they are great. And they did a great job with what they had. But yeah. What you got, Brian?
Of course I have to come here and be the fucking critic. Look at me. No, I thought the movie was fun. I came in with pretty low expectations as a whole based on, how the Marvel thing's been going through the last few years, which is funny because they make fun of that a lot, which a lot of this movie feels like, quote, what can Ryan Reynolds get away with, unquote, the movie. Because it's very obvious, like, what parts I think, at least to me, I felt like that he wrote, and then what parts were kind of like what was written by other people. Because I felt like there's a lot of shit that he was kind of throwing in there to heckle where he could. But yeah, I thought it was a fun movie. Not all the jokes landed, but I do think a good enough amount of them landed to the point where I was pretty satisfied. And there were so many that if something didn't land, another joke was coming right around the corner to like make up for it. So that was pretty good. Of course, I do love Hugh Jackman's role in it. I think it's funny that you say Hugh Jackman's like your favorite actor, because I think I saw a quote of someone said something like this that was like, Ryan Reynolds tries to be weird, but isn't actually a weird person. And then Hugh Jackman is trying to be a normal person, but he's actually super weird. And I feel like that's a great way to put them together when you actually see them interview and things like that. The story, whatever. It's not exactly what I expected, but I also had to kind of write it off as like, this is just a goofy movie for the sake of being goofy. It's not going to be as much as a strong tie to the first two. Also setting. I really was disappointed in the way that the setting, it was a point that I thought it was going to take place in this space for not that long. And then when it took place for the bulk of the movie, I was like, it's giving a little bit of the Flash kind of, where it's like, oh, we're just going to go to a derelict space and just have that be the main space. Outside of that, I thought it brought feelings, brought funnies. My girlfriend really enjoyed it. So that shows that it can come with the normies, even though she didn't get any of the jokes that were made at
I was about to say, there's some deep cut shit in here that...
yeah, I'd explain. I'd do a lot of explaining on the way home, but outside of that, still was a decent movie.
Yeah, I was trying to explain like the setup for the movie to my fiance, and like it was like, okay, well, okay, so in Logan, like this happened, and then it's like, but in Loki, this happened. And it's like I just had to give up. I was like,
I just remember at one point my girlfriend was like, "Is that Jennifer Garner?"
Yeah,
yeah, it actually is. Funny story.
Yeah. So I will say right before we go into spoilers, I mean, like, no, we can go. We'll say spoilers from here, listeners. Spoilers from here. So if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out, because man, you can spoil a lot of stuff in this movie that I would not want to spoil for anyone.
For sure.
But as far as like how you said, Brian, it's not what you expected. It's the same thing for me in the sense that, like, I think we were all like thinking, oh, this is what's going to bring the X-Men in, this might have some kind of lingering attachment to the MCU. It 1,000% does not. This movie is very, very much a standalone, which I think, maybe that is what Marvel needed. They just needed to get one. They needed to get one right.
Do less. That's what I think. It was good that they did that, because they left it in a spot where they can do more Deadpool if they want. They also don't have to. But like,
right.
And so like, see what you do with that. But yeah, please actually give me less connected shit. That's what, like we kind of need some more, just one story at a time now with Marvel, especially with like how the shows and stuff have gone recently. Just I thought it was a smart decision to do that.
Yeah, I think there's a version of this where they did it and they did it well, but I'm glad they not played it safe, I would say, because there's a lot of risky things I feel like they did in this movie in terms of some jokes and also some other things. But I think, yeah, like I will still say this is what Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness should have been. Like, I should have felt like this after seeing that movie. That the Doctor Strange multiverse was so small comparatively to this, which is like kind of crazy to think about. This is the feeling that I wanted in terms of like the cameos and the characters, and they made the cameos useful in this rather than in Doctor Strange, where I feel like it was very, hey, look, this person's here. It was fun, but they were here and then gone. Whereas this, I was genuinely surprised when some of the cameos, we're in spoilers, whatever. One of them, I was genuinely surprised at how long Chris Evans was in this movie.
Yeah, he actually did stuff.
I thought when he fell, he died. I thought he was dead.
Oh man, that was funny.
But that, I will say, that is the cameo that I kind of had a feeling he'd be in it, only because I'm not going to say spoilers for Free Guy. Who cares? I guess spoilers for Free Guy if you haven't done it. He makes a cameo in that Free Guy movie in the same vein, which is, again, Ryan Reynolds and the same director. So I was like, there's already some kind of friendship there. So I was like, there's got to be a Chris Evans thing in here. And when he fucking said "flame on," that was amazing.
That was so
I do. It was the perfect first joke. Like in regards to that whole thing of like, oh yeah, this is a lot of like older properties that never really made it again. It's kind of funny. Like Chris Evans got to do this twice. So I really enjoyed that.
So great that they actually acknowledged that like on screen. Like that's so funny. Like I don't know. I loved the whole concept of kind of like the old Fox, heroes coming to kind of for like one last hurrah. I loved that. Like, cause it kind of was like it was send off for 20th Century Fox era. But also kind of was like, like why don't we just use if we're using a place where everybody gets discarded basically. I mean, why don't we just do that with all these people that are discarded, like all these characters?
Exactly.
Didn't make it.
I will say before we get into like more cameo talk, because I feel like that's one of the big things that we're talking about is cameos. I will say that I kind of somehow expected more in my brain for somehow.
Really?
But I think it's like a weird rock and a hard place for Marvel, I would say, because I bet you they also want to save a lot of these other cameos for Secret Wars. That's the big multiversal event where you'll get all kinds of Spider-Man and blah, 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 whatever, all different kinds of variants. I would imagine. So I would imagine they were trying to like, what should we do now? What can we save? Because I was kind of surprised there weren't more in terms of like a Michael B. Jordan Human Torch with the Chris Evans Human Torch type of thing. You know what I mean? Something like that. But either way, I still enjoyed a lot of them. Yeah. I will ask, like, I know what my biggest, and I think it's probably the same as both of y'all's biggest cameos, but what were y'all's biggest like surprises from the movie?
Honestly, for me, I think Gambit. Like that was came out of
really
absolutely nowhere. Like I mean, well, okay, Blade was bigger for sure because I really did not see that coming. Like Elektra was like, okay, that's cool, but then like when the music hit and Blade came in, but then also just randomly Channing Tatum as Gambit. Like what the fuck?
And it's the funniest thing about that is this is a good casting choice. And it shouldn't be such a good casting choice. Because that was a big thing that Gambit was always my favorite like comic book character for like X-Men when it came about. So like me and my brother always used to fight over who got to play him in the video games and things like that. But we never really got like a good showing of him on film. And to make jokes around that about the fact that he's like, I think I've been here my whole life. Because he's never actually been like in the space. So I was like, that's really good.
Like, do you guys know the story behind that?
I don't know that I remember it.
So Channing Tatum was cast as Gambit.
Really?
He was on stage. He was on stage when they casted and announced they're doing Gambit movie, and they got Channing Tatum when they were announcing. I think it was the same year they were doing the Days of Future Past panel at Comic-Con. So like Hugh Jackman, all the old X-Men and all the new X-Men were on stage, and they announced Gambit's movie. So Channing Tatum had been planning to play Gambit since like 2013, 2014 or some shit like that. And it just never happened. One, I think it was just like troubles trying to get it going, and then Disney bought Fox. And so it all just disappeared. So that's like all the in-jokes where he's like, I feel like I've been here the whole time, but I haven't, shit like that. So like getting to see him actually do it was one I could never have guessed.
Right. Right.
Oh, it's so great though. It was great
and
to
his
see Gambit
accent,
on the
bro.
live screen, and the action was pretty great too.
Well, Devin, let's not forget. We try to forget it, but we have seen a live action Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine. It's just not very good.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, no, his accent was funny because I remember that.
Accent, I can't tell if he was doing it well or not.
Who's your dialect coach? The bad. Minions?
It's funny because, like, honestly, it's really, and I mean, I can't speak so heavy on it, but it's like it wasn't that bad. I remember True Blood has a character. Because what's the Bayou accident? What's it actually called? Like, it's not
like New Orleans,
Creole. Right?
It's Creole, right? I didn't want to say that. It sounds stupid. But I remember there's a character in True Blood that slight spoilers for True Blood randomly. There's a character that does it, and I remember watching. And I was like, he really sucks at this. Like, that's not what people from Louisiana sound like. And then it turns out that like he's faking the accent the whole time, and that's a part of his characterization. So it was really funny, like hearing like Channing Tatum, who I wouldn't expect had the chops to do that in the first place, and I was like,
right,
this sounds closer than what they sounded like on that TV show.
So, that's funny.
I don't know.
It was definitely hilarious to see him do it.
Yes.
Because they definitely play it for jokes, obviously, a lot of the time. Like, what the fuck are you saying, man?
Because that's kind of the point of it. Is like, if you aren't from that area, you're not going to really understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, no, that was good.
It is fun seeing all the Gambit love we've been getting since, like, X-Men 97 and stuff like that. So it is very fun to see a little resurgence from that character, you know? Yeah, I will say, I mean, classic costume, great. But his hair and that fucking sock on his head looked awful.
The head thing was pretty stiff.
I don't know what you would have done better.
No, I know. No, nothing. Nothing could have been better.
It's one of those things where it's just like, this is a stupid costume.
Yeah, you would have had to change the look up completely.
Yeah.
I'm
got
glad
the duster
they went with, like,
and everything.
look. But yeah.
And then obviously, I guess Brian will kind of was Gambit yours or Blade?
I would say my least expected was Blade, but I would say Gambit was my favorite.
Right.
Of course.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I definitely I think the Blade one is the biggest shocker. One, because we're like, holy shit, he's back. We've been thinking of when this could happen. Like, it's a matter, can't believe he came back.
He's got more taxes to pay.
There's so many layers to it. And it hit me when Ryan Reynolds, and he says, I really don't like you. And Deadpool says, you never fucking did. And then I turn and look at Jackie and I was like, oh my God, they were in Blade Trinity together. Oh my God.
I forgot about that. I love that.
I was like, holy fuck.
When he's like, I'm the only Blade that's ever going to be. And then Ryan Reynolds Deadpool just kind of looks at the camera like, maybe. Like,
I can't believe they got away with that joke. Like, if I'm Mahershala Ali and I see that joke, I'm like, I quit. Are we serious right now? I quit. We're talking. Are you serious? I cannot believe that.
And also, like, I wonder how late into production maybe did they add that in later? Because I don't know how long this has been in like production, but it's like, it feels like maybe some of the Blade issues hadn't happened when this started, but I don't know.
I don't know, but it was hilarious either way when he said that shit. That was one of the best and most like insulting jokes I think.
I was about to say, I was like, that's some people's livelihoods that we're joking about right now. This movie's never getting made.
No, but I mean, like, look, that's one of the things where I was like, I'm surprised that Kevin Feige and Marvel and Disney.
But when you break, they got to make fun of themselves a little bit. That's kind of what makes Deadpool refreshing, is because it does make fun of how, the other stuff, like the main stuff.
They made fun of a lot of it. They made fun of so much problem.
Oh my God, yes.
From the multiverse. It was great.
Stuff. Honestly, it was the kick in the ass Marvel needed. I think like.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What a way to win over your audience by making fun of your own failures. You know?
But
it's a perfect formula.
Like, for sure.
Yeah.
Self-awareness.
Yeah. And obviously Elektra, which I think we had talked about that it was rumored that she was in the movie. So that one wasn't as big of a surprise, but still very cool to see. Like, she looks great. She was kicking ass, I love one of the other favorite jokes is when he says, oh, Daredevil's dead. I'm so sorry. She's like, yeah, it's fine.
Oh, that was good.
Like,
that was so good.
That's good. I was kind of genuinely surprised Ben Affleck said no to this. I was like kind of hoping he'd be his Daredevil in this, but that joke was still very funny.
Right.
Oh God, that would have been funny. But yeah, I mean, and kind of to your early point too, Oscar, like, I think maybe the next couple ones, they should tell more grounded stories to kind of get us away from expecting it so much, because by the time Secret Wars and stuff comes, you want it to be fresh, Like, you don't want it to just
exactly.
You don't want us to be desensitized to the point where we're unhappy with like 5 cameos.
Right, because that's what I'm saying. Like, if Wesley Snipes comes back in Secret Wars, it's that moment is gone. That lightning in the bottle shock is gone.
Sure.
You know,
exactly.
And that's why I think some of the more throwaway ones kind of felt fine to me, and almost Blade might have been too big, but also he might have not actually wanted to do something serious. I don't know. Because like Carmen Electra, Electra being like a character, like we were never gonna see Electra again. Let's be real, like not in that context.
No,
you know what I mean? Like that was always gonna be. I want to. Never mind. And that's why I think Daredevil wouldn't have made as much sense to come in here, but Electra did, because that was such a funny movie to come out, because everyone's like, they love this character. Oh no, they don't.
Right.
And then like X-23, like that's a pretty established and kind of ended space, and like I don't know they ever plan to do anything of her solo work or something like that. So all those I think were funny and good enough. And then I think if we wanted some real ones, we will actually get the real ones in Secret Wars. And Blade was just kind of like, or Wesley Snipes was like, "Fuck it, I'll take a paycheck."
I think honestly it worked so much better because of the relationship he had with Ryan Reynolds and how like Blade was a complete Wesley Snipes was a complete asshole filming that third movie, and it was an awful experience for everyone filming it. You know. But I will say, and let's just continue with these big 3 cameos here. I love how they got Wesley Snipes to say his iconic and ridiculous line from Blade, which is some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill, which to this day, still have no idea what that means, but it's the coolest thing anyone's ever said on film.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I kind of missed that when it happened, I guess, because like, what did he say? Like,
this is where I will say that I felt like the choreography was a little generic, was when this big war fight, and we've jumped ahead to the movie. We'll jump back and forth in a sec. When this big epic, like, it's this crew versus this crew fight. A lot of it they're kind of just like swinging, you know, at stuff.
That's what.
There was one moment with Gambit where I'm giving props to Channing Tatum. He's flexing his dancing ability. I feel he's doing some like spins on the ground as Gambit and shit. I was like, all right, that was cool. That was pretty cool.
This made me want a Gambit solo movie, because I was like, actually, he's making this look a lot cooler than I expected it to.
I think in live action it actually would work pretty well. But no, I mean, they introduced the Juggernaut. They had the OG Nightcrawler, or like the red.
They had Azazel.
They had the girl from X2 was there. I mean, they had so many people that like had iconic fights before, and I kind of wanted more like, give me some like John Wick choreography for that part, you know, not just kind of like a shaky cam.
Some better one-on-ones.
Give me some more one-on-ones. And like, I think it was cool when I think Blade killed like Toad, and he killed a few of like the goofy mutants like that were in that crew. That was cool.
I think, and I think the reason why behind that is because I think besides Toad, none of those other actors are the original actors. Like, that's not Vinnie Jones playing the Juggernaut, and you know. So I think,
isn't Toad Ray Park?
That is Ray Park. He did come back. That was actually Ray Park. Yeah,
that's funny.
That man would do anything. Darth Maul, whatever. He don't give a shit. I love it.
Oh man.
I think the only OGs from like the bad guys were Pyro and Toad. I'm pretty sure. I think we're the only ones.
Yeah. But I would have loved to see like because there was a girl with the claws that fights Wolverine in X2, and I'm like, oh man, here we go, round 2, and then you kind of barely see him fighting her in the background,
or at least have a showdown with her in X-23. Like that would.
Oh, that would have been cool too. Yeah, see, like stuff like that where it's like, I guess they had to rush through for the plot, but yeah, that was my biggest takeaway from the movie or my biggest like detriment was definitely that rushed action scene. But it was still really cool. Like still very cool stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, I love the moment when it's revealed that Logan did come with them, and he's in the back of the van just hanging out. I don't know why Blade didn't have his iconic sword, like his big long like katana type sword. And he said he had this tiny little dagger, but interesting choice. Anyways, whatever. I will say for X-23, because I remember, because this is the trailer we didn't talk about because it was a big spoilery trailer, and it also came out like 5 days before the movie. But in the last trailer for this movie, they show X-23's in it, so it was like a big spoiler. And I remember watching it, and then watching the movie, I was like, what happened to her accent? Remember how in Logan she was like a tiny little Latina girl? What happened to her accent? And
she's white now.
I was like, what the hell? But then there's the moment where right before I think she's gonna kill Juggernaut, and she says "Adios, pendejo." I was like, oh, all right, that's a little better. They threw something in there.
I didn't even want that. I was like, they probably should have thrown that away. She obviously forgot how to do it.
Yeah. She grew up in North Dakota, so.
I was about to say, yeah, I guess, yeah. She had a lot of white friends. And then I think those are the major. Oh, I guess, look, let's go through the other section of, I guess, sort of cameos, which is when Deadpool finds goes through all the different variants of Wolverine. And this one, I feel like underrated because it happens so fast and so early in the movie. Fucking Superman is in this movie, guys.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Like, holy shit. I completely caught off guard. What the fuck?
We'll treat you better than those guys down the street. You should come over.
Was he CGI'd? Because he looked huge.
No.
He looked ginormous.
Dude, I think he is that big, though, dude.
It was like getting bigger.
Big.
What the fuck
He's
happened?
big, man.
I thought he had taken some time off since Superman, so I didn't think he would still be that large.
No, man, the montage from Man of Steel, that man is.
There was a time. There was a point in this movie where I was like, he might be too big, guys.
Yeah,
he is massive.
Even what's his face? Fucking who's the Waterman?
The Waterman.
I'm sorry, I'm struggling. From DC.
Aquaman.
Thank you. Even he's taking some time off, and he's not as big as he used to be. He's kind of, a little bit chunkier and stuff like that. So I was assuming.
No, I don't think Henry Cavill stops. Man.
Yeah, apparently not, bro.
He never did.
Jesus.
That was a great, cameo. God, that was good.
That was fantastic.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was lovely.
The one that I was curious to see if you all knew something more than me was the one where like Wolverine was like being crucified on like an X thing.
He's on the X cross.
That shit was crazy.
Going on there?
I don't remember what it's from, I'm pretty sure it's just like an iconic cover. I don't remember what it's from though, but yeah.
I like the comic book accurate sized.
The
man,
5'3" Wolverine.
Yeah. I'm glad they made that.
That was good.
Because when they were going with like the actual costume and stuff like that, I was like, are they gonna try to make Hugh Jackman short? Are they gonna do that? Glad they didn't. It would have been weird, but
yeah, that would have been weird.
Right. That was pretty funny.
He did get really low a lot. He got down to that low pose a lot.
He did. Yeah, this was probably the most comic accurate Wolverine in terms of physicality.
Well, for multiple reasons,
yeah. That is one of those things, and like all three of the Deadpool movies, I feel like have this issue where there are moments where it's like, this is real flimsy CG, and I can tell. But for some reason, this movie kind of gets away with it at times, where you're just like, it's such a weird universe, Deadpool specifically, that you kind of are okay with it. And like that tiny Wolverine was one of them, where it's like, that looks probably fucking awful, but who cares? Because it's hilarious.
Yeah, it was stupid enough that it didn't matter that it looked awful. It looked like a bad Photoshop, but I was like, I kind of appreciate that it looks so stupid. Like, that's actually pretty funny. It makes it funnier, right? When it's done shoddy.
They had a sexy Wolverine James Bond patch version in there. They had another one, I think Age of Apocalypse, with the Wolverine with a giant mullet in the alley or whatever. I think that's that one. And then obviously, the other big one, Wolverine in his fucking brown suit, his brown and orange or brown and yellow suit, which looked very cool in live action when he fights the Hulk, which you get a little mini Hulk cameo there. That was cool. That was cool to see in live action as well.
Yeah,
100%. That was cool.
Why is Thor crying over me?
That might be my favorite recurring joke in this movie.
Oh man, that was funny.
Why is Thor crying? Oh, that was good. That was really good. Since Brian brought that up, should we very quickly talk about the TVA in this, in the sense that this is like a weird, like sanctioned off undercover TVA operation they're trying to pull now?
I don't know, man. I hate the whole TVA thing. Like, even since the days of Loki. But if it's the price we got to pay to get this movie, then I'm happy to pay it. But I thoroughly enjoyed the opening montage of him killing them all with Logan's skeleton.
Oh my god! Can we talk about Bye Bye Bye?
Which apparently had a dance double for.
Yeah. As soon as I was like, that is not Ryan Reynolds. There's no way that's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh man.
That was fantastic.
Incredible.
That might have been like the funnest opening since like Guardians 1, I think.
Yeah.
Like from my memory.
It was is very Deadpool thing to do as well. It's like to dig up his skeleton and then use the adamantium bones to just wreck a whole squad of people. Like that is a Deadpool iconic moment.
It definitely set a tone. I will say it was one of those things where it's like, this joke is going on too long. And it's like, I know you have to get through all the opening credits. They did like
the whole fucking song.
Yeah, I was like, that is a lot of song to use for this situation. Yeah, I know you got to get to the opening credits. But I was kind of like,
it was long.
There's also some really gross sexual, like,
I will say, like, I think what made that one okay for me was I think the choreography was very creative in the way he murdered all these men.
Yeah.
And also, I'm a sucker if you're gonna like fighting to a beat. Like there are times where he did like some moves on the actual beats of the song. That's always gonna win me over because it's funny.
Yeah, that's fair.
Very true.
Also, that dance double could dance. That dance double was going in.
He was fucking it up for sure.
Yeah. No, that was great.
Yeah,
and also, kind of was like, okay, we're not going to bring back that Logan, so don't worry about that, people, because I know there are probably some people that were very, very worried about that, but
right,
it's okay.
Obviously,
his skeleton is now all over the place, though. But
was this
but I'm happy about that.
What Logan was this? Was it the X-Men 1 through 3 Logan? I don't
look. To be fair,
it's vague.
None of the X-Men movies make any sense to each other. It's almost like they're all in their own separate universe.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. I was like, did he do something really bad in the last X-Men movie? I was like, I don't think so.
No, because at the end of Days of Future Past, they're like a hopeful future, but it definitely feels like there's different timelines.
And then Logan, you could argue is the only canon movie in Logan is the first X-Men movie ever made from 2000.
Mm-hmm.
They don't address really anything else, but honestly, no, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I was trying to think like, what is it? X3 or X-Men 3? What's like the third X-Men movie called? Because X-Men X2,
Last Stand.
The Last Stand. I don't remember that movie at all. I have no idea what happened.
That's when they first tried to do Dark Phoenix.
But yeah, I mean, I think. Well, I mean, I don't know. He starts the movie off with the Logan spot, so apparently that was Deadpool's Earth. Was where Logan happened. So
right. I think it's all very loose Fox universe.
Yeah, it's very loose. And maybe he did do the whole. I do really love how they started off that his like time things that he did in the credits of Deadpool 2. That all of that was true. Like that it all stuck.
Oh yeah,
that his girlfriend was alive and all the people that he saved, like Doug, and like all the.
Does that mean Ryan Reynolds is dead in his universe?
Yeah, that's really funny.
Because he shoots Ryan Reynolds at the end of Deadpool 2.
Was that guy's name Doug or is it like Pete or something?
Peter.
Yeah, he brings Peter back to life. Like I was just so happy that like they kind of acknowledged that and like made that part of the.
I mean, it was a very smart way to bring in the TVA. It was like, yeah, we know you fucked around, but we're here for a bigger reason, anyways.
Right.
Yeah, no, I thought that was very clever. Yeah, so like obviously that's his whole thing is that since Logan died, his universe is dying because they've introduced a new thing that people are obsessing over, which is the anchor point or whatever. Oh yeah, I mean, there's always introducing a new thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny. You can tell they're trying to simplify it, but by trying to simplify it, they make it worse. They make it more ridiculous because that was kind of like okay,
so like one person would derail a whole.
Yeah.
Well, I know. Well, that's the theory now. Is like people are like, was Iron Man the anchor point to the regular MCU? Is the regular MCU?
No, it was like Jesus.
Just don't read into it too much.
Oh,
like
Jesus was the anchor.
People doing that kind of stuff, or like like when there's like there's certain moments in time that just have to happen. Like there's certain like nexus points.
Or like a fixed point or whatever.
You can't undo. Like with Doctor Strange and his like Christina. It's like just don't think about it too much because. Yeah, like people that are going to try to go in like, think about the anchor points related to the other movies. They only said that so that he would have to go get another Wolverine.
Right. I mean, and I think those whole anchor points and everything around that all have to do with the fact that if you don't do that, time stuff gets so weird because there's so much of like, well, what about the butterfly effect? Mm-hmm. And what about this thing has to happen? And what if it doesn't happen? Will you even exist? And all that. They're just trying to get rid of all of that because people are nerds
just want to simplify
and are gonna get too deep into it. So I'm like, I can suspend disbelief for that. Fucking Wolverine died.
Yeah, it's fine.
Who cares? I love that he thought it was him. I thought that was
just take it at face value. Don't think about it too much.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that he was like, was me leaving? They're like, fucking no, bro. Logan died. He's a hero.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I love the new montage of like him putting on his new suit and his ass slap was in there like set 10 times.
Like a million times, yeah. When he comes out, he's like, suit's great. Your suit guy is a bit of a perv but other than that, it's an HR nightmare.
Oh, it was so good.
The jokes are like pretty 14-year-old boy, but like I don't know, something about them are still endearing enough.
That's Deadpool. Like, what do you?
Yeah, and I mean that's why like some of them like did land, and that's why I was like, I feel like I can tell what was Ryan Reynolds and what wasn't, because some very much felt very corpo, because they kept saying stuff about like the woke mob and LGBTQ community, and you can't say this because it's gonna get you. I'm like, all right, we don't need much of that. But then it was like the other stuff that I was like, okay, these are jokes that I feel like Ryan Reynolds wrote, and they're landing a lot better because they actually seem like something that he would say off cuff in his normal like interview or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Slight tangent. One of those, and my favorite joke I think of the whole movie, is when he says, "Oh yeah, he doesn't get shirtless anymore ever since his divorce. He let himself go ever since the divorce." Making fun of Hugh Jackman's real life divorce is insane, bro. I can't believe like what a guy Hugh Jackman has to be like, yeah, it's fine. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That one got audible like ohs in my theater when I saw it.
That's really funny.
When you break the fourth wall, I mean, there's no limit.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I think. Oh, wait, what was it where he literally shattered the fourth wall? What was that moment?
Is it when Nice Pool looks at everyone and says the proposal?
No.
There's one. Was talking about the one with the TVA where he actually runs up and pulls the camera in.
He goes up and literally smashes the camera of the fourth wall.
Oh, he says, he's like, suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland. He breaks the camera.
Oh man, that was so good.
Yeah. Look, there was a lot of good shit. Like, again, Ryan Reynolds is in his bag for a lot of this. So yeah, obviously they get sucked into the void, which from Loki, which we saw in the trailers. It's pretty generic. He makes the Mad Max joke. It's very Furiosa, Mad Max.
They literally make it Mad Max.
A lot of saying.
Which I'm like, how are you allowed to do that? At what point does this?
I know.
Not get it.
Yeah, too soon.
Illegal.
Crazy. Because in my head, when I didn't see Furiosa, which I'm bummed about. But I would imagine he's literally quoting that movie, which I'm like, how did you do that?
And also, I feel like that's kind of a risky thing because I didn't see Fury. Like, there's a lot of people I don't think that saw Furiosa. So
right,
it's not as iconic as like maybe something from like Mad Max 1 or something would have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah, it was fine. Eliath from Loki is in it, but obviously he's just like he doesn't do much. He's like a weird threat that randomly comes in twice, and that's pretty much it.
Stupid plot device for that thing.
Yeah. Let me see. Let's quickly talk about Cassandra Nova, our villain of the story. Again, I think Emma Corrin does a great job playing Cassandra. Terrifying. I will say, like, the fucking finger skull fucking effect is gross.
That was interesting. I like the way they kind of went about that. Yeah, it was very unsettling.
I was like, it is. I liked it. I was like, oh, it's like coming out the tiny bit of your eye socket and you're but like very creative. Very creative.
Yeah.
I need someone to come in there and do that in my head. I need my brain massage. Something's going on.
Right. But yeah, I thought they did a great job in terms of like what they had, but it's like, again, very much a Marvel thing. There's not much for them to do. I do love the moment where Cassandra rips the skin off of Johnny Storm.
Just immediately. Just the show power was really, and that's why I was like, oh, you guys are fucked.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you might be regenerating heroes.
The fact that she would lose to anyone is insane. But
yeah, definitely the character had to get nerfed towards the end for this to make a lot of sense, because if you can do all of that, there's no limit, right? Like, who the fuck's beating that? Right. Iron Man is not going to survive getting his skin ripped through his fucking armor.
Literally 90% of the Avengers, maybe everybody but Scarlet Witch.
Right.
And maybe Doctor Strange, but it seemed like she dispatched him pretty easy.
I know. I think Doctor Strange would be fucked. Are you kidding me? With that fucking firecracker kung fu, his ass would be dead.
I mean, he literally was fucked. What does Cassandra have?
Yeah, right? Yeah. That's true. She has this little sling ring thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was good for what she was given, like you said, but any weaknesses she had were weaknesses with the overall plot. But we're not here for an iconic villain. We're here for Deadpool and Wolverine. They just need something to fight. So who cares?
Right. Speaking of fights, Deadpool and Wolverine,
they fight quite a bit.
They get a couple rounds in this.
So great. I'm glad that they had multiple rounds too, because like.
Okay, I was gonna say. So there's two. There's the opening one that they have when they first get to the void, and then they have the sex scene in the car. Which one do you guys like more?
The car one for sure, because the other one we've seen, we've seen stuff similar to that a lot, and it was still a good fight. It was very creative.
It was.
I think the car one was so on brand for this movie.
That one had such like excellent and fun choreography to it, where they're just like flying through. Like there's a point where Wolverine just bum rushes and hits the front of the car to blow the airbag and send Deadpool flying back. Like that's such fun shit. Deadpool flies straight into the van through the window at one point. Like it's so fun.
He like jumped out from the top and like he was trying to choke him out with the seatbelt at one point. Like that was a good fight, man. That was funny.
A great fight.
I love the shot at the end when, like, I guess Hote had gone by and then
dude, I'm telling you, that is a sex scene. That is a sex scene. They fucked all night and then they're asleep in the morning.
I just love how he was like wrapped up in like a bunch of seatbelts. Like,
this is so good. That was so excellent. There's a little Greatest Showman Easter egg that plays in the radio for Hugh Jackman when he hits the radio at one point, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah, he made a singing joke at one point again too. He's like, if you give him 2 seconds or something, he's going to start doing show tunes or something like that.
He's like, don't. If not, I will make him sing the entire second act of The Music Man without warming up. I loved it. I loved it.
Fantastic. See, like they find a way, because I'm like, how are they going to keep Deadpool funny? Because we've seen his humor before, right? And they just find a way to keep coming up with good jokes. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed all of them pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. But I will say, like, in terms of like acting prowess, again, that fight starts with Hugh Jackman delivering just a fucking gnawing monologue, just digging into Deadpool, saying how much of a gigantic piece of shit you are. And I was like, that was brutal. That was brutal.
I'm going to fight you now.
His eyes like got a little sad there for a sec. I think it needs to be said, like Deadpool did such a good job with facial expression in a mask. Like the white eyes actually like work.
Yes.
In this, like
that is a brilliant use of CG. Yeah.
For the first 2 movies and then this one as well. And like obviously big moments later, but like, yeah, I don't know. They always found a way to make that work. And his little sad eyes there were so fun.
That was amazing. And then back to round 1. My highlight from that was when the first starts and Wolverine charging on all 4s was so cool to see.
Just like it's
so cool,
monstrous in it. Yeah, very feral.
Like the only thing I needed to hear from him was saying like Berserker Charge, like from fucking Marvel vs. Capcom, and I would have been done.
Yeah. Then who stabbed who in the taint? I think he stabbed Deadpool in the taint, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it happened multiple times. But I thought
they could have done it to each other at one point.
He definitely skewered his ass for sure,
and that was pretty funny. And then like when Deadpool was like shooting him in the waist, that was pretty funny too. But I mean, they both. But it's like, what's the point? Because like they both are just going to recover
at one point. And that's the thing that I love, like, because obviously, like he says this is the worst Wolverine, but it's still a Wolverine that is absolutely invincible.
Right.
That cannot die no matter what. He stabs Logan through the neck at one point, and it's just like unfazing.
Right. Yeah. Oh man.
Like just because you're invulnerable, doesn't that shit still hurt? Like,
I mean, well, yeah, that's like Deadpool when right before the fight starts, he's like, "Oh, this is gonna hurt." Yeah. So all of that amazing. Obviously, Hugh Jackman in the yellow and blue suit. It looked great.
The arms popped out. We were worried. Everyone talked about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you guys know I got my skin issues. I don't really want to do that." And everyone was like, "Oh, well, we love you, Hugh Jackman, so we'll allow it." And he was like, "Fuck you, psych, bitch."
Yeah,
arms are out.
Yeah,
it was all misdirection. Yep. That was the best look, I think, for sure.
Arms are out, but they got rid of the shoulder pads, which I get for mobility's sake.
Threw me off. Yeah.
Oh, I love the shoulder pads. I love they look so. I thought they looked great.
I thought they were too much, but
they went with the blue and yellow, and not the yellow and brown, which I think probably would have looked more normal in real life. But
true,
go off.
You gotta go.
Yeah,
you gotta go with that. The iconic.
Yeah. It was great. He decapitates Sabretooth, which was very funny.
Very easy,
very samurai.
quick.
Just one quick swipe. Yep. Let me see what else we got here.
The Deadpool fight.
To that.
Are we talking?
Yeah, that's
or is that too?
Yeah.
The last one.
Yeah.
Nice pool.
Yeah, that's what I was
quickly mention.
Nice.
Oh, I guess before we get to that, because Nice Pool leads into that fight. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Dog Pool?
I love Dogpool, of course. That was gonna be easy one. Easy, ugly ass dog. Yeah.
I was wondering
that
if
dog has the biggest tongue in the world.
Yeah, that tongue did not seem like it fit that dog.
It did not.
But hilarious.
But Ryan Reynolds' Nice Pool. What an absolutely hilarious reveal that he does not regenerate.
That's so. I want to know more about his world, where he came from, and why that is the way that it is.
That moment when Deadpool's like, "Oh, he died a hero," and Wolverine just goes, "He died of murder, you dumb fuck."
It's like, but now I got the gold-plated deagles, and it's like that's what he wanted the whole time.
It's very much giving like the Rocket Raccoon. I want that guy's arm. Give me that guy's.
That guy's arm. And then obviously that brings us to the big last final action set piece, which I don't know why I was so surprised, but the moment I saw Wolverine's arm start to lift up, I freaked out.
Oh yeah.
And he whips the cowl right over his and I'll say I thought it looked good. I thought it looked pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like
I was so happy, and they kept it on for a long time. Like he didn't just
way longer than I thought they would.
It goes on for like iconic parts of the movie later too, but like I was so happy they did it because it looked good. Like and like I say, like this costume crew, Deadpool, they do a good job with the white eyes, like making it actually work in real life. So I'd love to see them do more of that in the Marvel space because. Some of them, but yeah, he looked so good in that fight. Oh man, it was great.
Oh, that was as much as like the Deadpool core universe that they were fighting was like not that interesting, just because it's very much a bunch of people in cosplay.
Right.
But that one shot was just awesome to watch. Just them go. Yeah,
and it is pretty Deadpool to fight himself or like a version of himself or
Yeah,
I mean, they showed Lady Deadpool. That was the only one that really mattered. I don't really give a fuck about anybody else.
Yeah, played voiced by I don't know if it's her body in the suit, but definitely voiced by Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' real life.
I thought it might actually just be her, like without a mask.
I don't. Yeah.
One real shout out. Did you see the whales pool? That was actually
no.
So they had the Welsh like colors and the Welsh dragon on one of them. That was actually Chris Mullen, who is a striker for Wrexham, the team that he owns.
Oh, that's funny.
That's so funny.
So he was actually in the suit, which was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
I heard. Yeah, I know that there's definitely a Matthew McConaughey voice. He was one of them.
The Old West.
I think he.
That'd be some kind of cowboy.
And
pool.
I think, probably. And then Nathan Fillion was, I think, the voice of the head the floating head one with the propeller. I think
that's cool. Nice little Easter egg.
Yeah. That was sick. Sick fight. Classic look for Wolverine. And then Peter saves the day because everyone loves.
Everyone
Peter.
just loves Peter, which is so funny because I don't even feel like that Deadpool likes Peter that much. But everyone else was like, "No, that's fucking Peter. That's that guy." And I was like, "Wait a second, what the fuck?"
Right.
That's the thing too. Is I was like, "Oh, I guess none of these Deadpools have regenerative like properties, and this can't do anything with it." And then they all got up, and I was like,
"Yeah."
Actually, at one point, I was like, "Oh, this movie's gonna go on for a little too long, isn't it?"
Nah.
And then they cleared that up like really quickly, and I was like, "Thank God."
Yeah.
So I was actually,
I
was actually very nervous when they did that.
I really love Peter, man. That sexual tension he had with the TVA lady. Like,
that was so funny.
Oh, I know. Which that was a fun little cameo from Loki. I'm glad she got to be in there. Someone we recognize,
Man, for a second when they first brought her in, they're like, "Oh, we need to go look at this zone." I thought that they were gonna like send Loki or something. I don't know how season 2 ended, but like I thought like for a moment I was like, "Man, we're gonna get Tom Hiddleston in this."
That would have been crazy.
I also didn't finish watching that show.
I'll say the last episode's actually very good. The rest of it is fine. That last episode, unfortunately, is very good. But And then we get the last little moments where they stop Cassandra, which I actually really loved. One, because I think that choir version of Like a Prayer that they use is amazing. It's so good. And Hugh Jackman, shirtless and just the mask is the greatest thing. It's so, and also, I can't believe he got ripped for 4 minutes of screen time. What a maniac. Absolute lunatic. Absolute lunatic.
See, I thought for that moment, I thought it was so cool that they left his mask on for that to do that part of it. Because usually everything in Hollywood would never let you do that. But I like how Deadpool, they understood to do it.
Absolutely. And a good, like, iconic look, like shirtless and just the mask. Pretty great. So I like that moment. It's a little, it's very Guardians of the Galaxy where, the reason they don't die is because there's 2 of them now. And then it can overpower and burn up Cassandra Nova.
It's very big Guardians of the Galaxy energy.
Yeah, very much so. Very much.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's pretty much it. You know, they make a shawarma joke a la Avengers at the end. Gonna go get some shawarma.
They actually invented shawarma.
And well, before that, obviously, we said this earlier, where he talks about how they're gonna have Hugh Jackman be Wolverine until he's 90, which is very funny. But he does ask Logan if he's gonna stick around, and he says probably not. So I don't know. He does stick in the universe, and he gets X-23 back. So who knows what the future of?
I mean,
they're definitely going to do more Deadpool.
They could easily
1,000%.
Yeah.
I think he'll be in Secret Wars. I hope that's his send off, because obviously big multiverse. Maybe they'll have an actual their regular MCU Logan by then, or at least introduce him in this, and you'll get a nice little passing of the torch from one to the other, and that'll be the end of Wolverine and Hugh Jackman.
Fuck would it be?
I don't know.
Willem Dafoe.
I don't know.
He's back, baby. He's back again. Let's go. Willem. I don't know. I have no idea who it could possibly be.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people are like Tom Hardy. I don't want it to be Tom Hardy. No. It's fine. He's got the height. He's got the build. He could do it. But
weren't they throwing in Taron Egerton at one point? I just think he's a little too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Timothy Chalamet.
I mean, a lot of people were saying Daniel Radcliffe. Say he's ripped. He could do it.
He is ripped.
That'd be real interesting.
He also is short.
You know,
you just gotta keep the
work. That's who a lot of people thought would make a cameo as one of the Wolverine variants in this movie. It would just be Daniel Radcliffe.
That actually would be really funny. I'm trying to think. He couldn't do any. I don't know his accent ability. He's kind of got a good facial hair these days.
He could do it, guy. It's not a bad idea.
I'm not against this. Wait a second. What the fuck? Anyway, yeah, sure.
It won't be Henry Cavill. He's way too old at this point, you know. But who knows? Who knows who it could be? Maybe it's someone new. Maybe I don't know. I did love the mid credits when there's stuff. It's like a little goodbye to the Fox universe in terms of showing bloopers and behind the scenes stuff.
Cool,
I thought that was kind of sweet.
It was kind of nice. It was kind of a nice little send off. Made me sad, honestly. But those movies do deserve some respect. Some of them. The OG X-Men for sure.
I mean, a lot of them were like very much early 2000s coded, so it's like it's hard to really hate them that much because this was the product of its time.
I mean, I still think movies like First Class and Days of Future Past are genuinely great.
Well,
super great movies.
Those movies came out pretty late comparatively to X2.
Right.
Elektra was like 2005.
And I wonder, without like X-Men and X2, I wonder what the MCU would look like, because it kind of inspired them to start doing that kind of stuff. It's like maybe, what does Iron Man look like if X2 doesn't go so well,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Blade, the beginning.
Blade started it. Oh, yeah. The modern era was Blade, 1,000%. Yep. That's pretty much it. I would say soundtrack, I thought great. The whole soundtrack, but nothing but bangers, personally.
Yeah. And this is a movie where I'm okay with needle drops as a whole. Because like it's stupid fun movie.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Thought it was great. I still don't know where the hell Deadpool is in the MCU. This movie didn't answer it. I think it's also still fine. It's okay. Yeah, I don't know what universe he's in. I don't know where he is.
Well, so he's back on his Earth, which is not MCU. But then he went and interviewed with the Sacred Timeline.
MCU, I don't know how that works.
Did that.
I don't understand. Yeah, we didn't talk about. There's a Happy Hogan cameo in this pre-Endgame, so Iron Man is still alive, and he's trying to become an Avenger, and then he just goes back to his universe. But I don't know how he did.
Maybe he did it because he had the watch, so maybe that's how they're doing it. Like he just had that watch, and he's just like, yeah, sure.
I don't know. That was the most confusing part of the movie.
It was.
Or maybe that is his Earth, like pre-Endgame, but then maybe after Loki and stuff, he's on another timeline.
For some reason, I thought there was a random third timeline that was confusing. And I was like, how did he see his friends again? And I was like, oh, no, I guess he's back in his time. Yeah.
Just don't think about it too much. But yeah, he's in a place where they can get him if they want to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like anything.
Pretty much. And then post credits, it's Chris Evans actually talking shit like Deadpool said he did
really
when everyone thought
that was good.
that honestly is kind of like, I can't believe Marvel let their Captain America in essence say all that shit. Because kids are gonna be like, why is Captain America so rude?
Oh my god, that clip is hilarious. It's awful. He's saying some pretty terrible things too.
Oh my god, it's awful.
Here's a question I had. Is this, without doubt, the most violent movie that Disney has ever made? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, Pirates of the Caribbean, that's all PG-13. But, like, is there any other Disney, like, weird corner of Disney where they made something super dark and crazy like this?
I mean, there's probably, like, some subset stuff that they have. Like they're off, like, non-Disney, like, Disney branded stuff. I forgot what, I can't remember what it's called, but
this was
I don't know.
Marvel, though, which is very closely to Disney. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like it just feels like it's the most far they've ever gone. Like
sometimes even I was like, it's kind of a lot. Come on, guys.
Yeah, there were some moments. Yeah, there's some moments in this. Yeah, when Gambit's blowing people up is pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean the skeleton violence alone was just like Jesus.
Someone felt a little, a little The Boys. We're just kind of like, okay, this is just we're just doing this for the sake of having
blood bucket. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, that's Deadpool and Wolverine, fellas. Good time in the theater.
Yeah,
I think I'm probably gonna see it one more time, just for funsies. I don't know.
Word.
I quite enjoyed it. It's making the money. It's doing what they want. I think it had the highest opening of any R-rated movie ever at like over $450 million. Right.
Versus the second Deadpool, but yeah.
Yeah. So look at that, Marvel. You got a winner. You did it. It's been some time, but you did it.
Right.
Good job.
I think they're going to give Ryan Reynolds all the money he wants now. And whatever he wants to do, I think, after this.
Right. Because he might have single-handedly saved them.
Yeah. I think there'll definitely be a Deadpool Spider-Man movie at some point, potentially.
Wow,
I think that's what Ryan Reynolds wants when he's making the little noises in the car. I think Ryan Reynolds is like, let me do it. Let me do it.
That would be good.
Yeah. Well, there we are. Deadpool and Wolverine. Check it out. It's very fun. Guys, should we now head into our final segment of the week?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Free for all, which we title pending, which is a segment we can talk about our life, rant, nap, but also Alex is back. Welcome back, Alex.
What up?
Would you like to head with the free for all first?
Yeah, I got a little something. I've been listening to a whole lot of this new album that just dropped. I don't know, almost 2 weeks ago now. Childish Gambino's final album just came out. I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but it is pretty fucking good.
I swear no one is talking about it, which is so interesting. I forgot about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't really know what people are talking about, but We're
talking about Iron Man, Alex.
Yeah. I think it's an incredible body of work. I've always been a huge fan of Childish Gambino and Donald Glover. But I didn't realize that this album was kind of coming out until a month ago, and then I forgot about it, and now it's already out. So I've just been enamored and entranced. Yeah, it's great. He's said in a bunch of interviews and the publicity that this is his last album as Childish Gambino. He might probably put out other music under Donald Glover or maybe another moniker. I don't really know.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think that's a pretty cool thing. I feel like he's the type of person to commit to that and not do like a share and come back, several times later. He said in a few interviews that he likes endings to things, and that as like a Childish is like a character of that Donald Glover created or whatever to pursue music and whatnot. So that I could see him doing music in other facets for sure. But the idea of like this one chapter of this person closing musically is really interesting, and it opens the door for a really interesting like study of this album per se, because it really is like a combination of all of the greatest like tracks and albums and records that Childish has put out. It's multifaceted and it covers a lot of genres, and I think it's really captivating. And it's going to be the soundtrack for a movie that I don't know when this movie is coming out, but the movie and the soundtrack, which is the album, are called Bando in the New World. I don't know much about the movie, but it's like a funny disaster end of the world type movie. And it looks silly.
Interesting.
But the album is fucking great. Highly recommend it.
If that man is one thing, he is an artist. So I'll give him his props on that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely
I got a lot of respect for that.
I really love Littlefoot Bigfoot. Is that what it's called? That number?
Yeah, that one's not on the album actually.
Oh, really?
Which I don't really like that song actually. I thought it was.
I didn't like it at first,
annoying.
and then I heard it like 6 times during the show. We were just playing it. I was like, "This is kind of a bop."
You're right. It's catchy, but I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
I think if I gave it 5 or 6 tries, I would be hooked. But I don't really.
Right.
I would not be doing that.
It's just too annoying.
That's really funny.
But
no, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, the whole album is really really good. But yeah, it's not really very similar to Littlefoot Bigfoot. That's a really random single. I don't know what the deal is with it.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah, check out the album. It's phenomenal.
Quick tangent, because that when you were saying how it's going to be the soundtrack to a movie,
yeah,
it made me think of the same show I was working on backstage. A friend of mine showed me there's a trailer for a movie that is a biopic on what's his name? How did I forget? What's the dude that sings "Happy" with all the hats? What's his name?
Will Ferrell.
Pharrell, yeah.
Oh,
there's a Pharrell biopic.
Will Ferrell.
That's not the first time I've done that.
Imagine that mashup.
There's a biopic movie coming out, or did come out, I don't know, that is about him.
Word.
That is entirely made out of Legos. It's a Lego movie.
Oh,
that is a biopic.
I think I heard about this, yeah.
I thought it was a joke, and then I watched the trailer, and I couldn't believe it. Like Snoop Dogg's in it in Lego form. It's crazy.
I love it.
I couldn't believe it was real.
Do you think that?
And then
kid,
we just went on.
There's a kid that remakes like all the Marvel movie like trailers out of Legos, and he ended up having a hand in one of the Spider-Verse movies. Like he's like 16 at this point. I wonder if he had anything to do.
I remember
with
that scene.
I don't know.
It's not something Pharrell would do.
I mean,
ridiculous.
The Lego movie slaps.
It does. They're very good movies.
I don't know. Yeah, I wonder whose creative involvement this is, the 14-year-old or the Lego movie or both.
Right. Or Pharrell. He's just like, I want my biopic to be. Also, why do you have a biopic already? Your career's not over.
Right.
What are we doing?
He's still in the midst of it. Like
he's not that old.
Like,
God.
Just chilling.
I just thought about that. Y'all should watch that. It looks utterly ridiculous.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I guess I can go very quickly. Mine's real quick because I didn't do much this week. But I will say, today I went to a rage room for the first time in my life.
Fuck yeah.
It was called Crash and Catharsis Rage Factory.
Cool.
It was honestly, I mean, not on the nose, very cathartic. It's very cool, and I didn't know, like I knew what it was, but I didn't know how it would feel or anything like that. But it was kind of great. You got an assortment of weapons from bats and hammers to hockey sticks to boxing gloves, and they just give you a bunch of glass bottles, and you can throw them, you can hit them, all this stuff, for 15 to 25 minutes, depending on what you do. And they just play music. They also allow you they let me have headphones, like my own headphones if I wanted to as well. But they also play a bunch of music. Like they play some Rage Against the Machine and Papa Roach and all that kind of shit like that. And it was fun. It was a good time. Like it definitely releases some endorphins or some serotonin and shit like that, in your brain and in your body. So it was fun. It was what I needed, and also they also have a room that is what they call Scream into the Abyss, which is just a blackout, a totally dark room that is completely covered in like soundproof foaming. Whoa. And they have in there like a decibel meter to see how, like, when you scream, how loud you can get. And there's like a scoreboard outside the room when you walk in.
Oh, cool. Wow.
I think I got to 118.
Wow.
I don't know how impressive that was, but I think outside the high score was 130. But I was like, God damn.
And you got to 118?
I got to 118 when
I'm scared of whoever got to 130. What they got going on in their lives.
They need some. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But no. So that was enjoyable. But yeah, pretty cool. I would say, like, whether you're happy or you're sad, I think it would be a good time regardless.
Sure.
Like, I think it's that lizard brain part of our head where it's just like smashing shit is somehow very relieving. You know,
smash it, bro.
Yeah, no consequence breaking stuff, old TVs and monitors and shit.
That sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, why is that so satisfying? It definitely is, though.
I think
because we're fucking lizards.
I think it's that taboo of just like we have that that intrusive thought of just like, you know, we've had to smash rocks against shit when we were Neanderthals and stuff like that, and now we can't do it. None of those things that used to be very much in our nature just can't be done anymore.
Right. Or like we have all this pressure all the time. It's like, oh, gotta be careful, don't break stuff. And then it's like, no, break everything. There's no rules.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. That's super cool.
So it was cool. It was cool.
Sounds fun.
Shout out to God of War Ragnarok, guys.
Boo!
All right.
I can
take some lessons from Kratos and go to a rage room.
Right.
That might have been better for Kratos on the whole.
Of rage.
I can go real quick. I don't think I talked about this. I saw a horror movie not that long ago. I saw the critically acclaimed Longlegs with Nicolas Cage as the main villain in it. Basically, the story of Longlegs is about a serial killer in Oregon that is killing whole families while not actually being present during the crime. And then there's an FBI agent tasked to kind of figure out what's the deal and what's kind of going on. This movie has gotten really, really good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
This sounds crazy. None of what you're saying is really adding up. You said without skipping a beat. I need to go back. You said Nicolas Cage and critically acclaimed in the same sentence. And didn't evaporate.
Yeah, so this is definitely like a low budget horror film, and Nicolas Cage, I guess, is on his side quest shit right now because he decided to be in this movie.
That man doesn't do main quests.
Yeah, he's got more debts and more bankruptcy to pay, more Chapter 13 bankruptcy to pay.
How has he not paid it off yet? I still don't understand.
Because man was buying dinosaur bones. That shit costs millions of dollars. What do you mean?
How does he?
So wait, is it spiders?
What? The spiders have to do anything?
It's called Daddy. What's it called?
Oh, it's called Longlegs. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. No, not really spoilers. It's more of an occult movie. It's more of like a devil worship kind of movie.
Okay.
Yeah, this movie got really good reviews. It was one of those like, oh, this is the scariest movie to ever come out. You know what they did with Paranormal Activity and every other movie that they suck the movie's dick and then it's not there. I hated this movie. I absolutely hated it.
Longlegs?
Yeah, I went and saw it with Rachel, and she said she liked it, but I thought this was so fucking stupid. It is one of the slowest burns of a movie you can possibly deal with, and that's like my least favorite. It definitely feels like akin to like an Insidious in like the filming style to it a little bit. It gets a little bit like, you know, old film sometimes and whatever.
Is it a Blumhouse movie or no?
I'm not sure if it actually is a Blumhouse movie. I don't believe it is.
Or is it like an A24 movie?
It's definitely like an A24 for sure. But yeah, like I had a less than $10 million budget. Yeah, I just was not fucking with it. It's definitely one of those movies where it's like the last 15 minutes are the most important part. And it's not one of those things where it's like you can guess like the big twist, because there's a big twist, of course, around like Nicolas Cage's character specifically. And then like his kind of ties with the main character. But goddamn, was that shit stupid. And I don't know if maybe just my media literacy wasn't doing that well, because we saw it in a time that I was like really tired. So I actually fell asleep in the beginning because I was like, this shit fucking sucks. And I thought I would have missed something like pretty integral. I didn't. I looked back to see it. I didn't miss anything integral. This shit was, I don't know. I kind of almost want other people to see it because I want to know if maybe it's a me problem. Because this movie has like an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It like starred with 100%. So I thought this was going to be like my favorite horror movie of the time. So maybe when it comes on a streaming service, I mean, you should support it, I suppose, for low budget film. But
get Nicolas Cage out of debt.
Yeah, let's help get Nicolas Cage out of debt one step at a time. Yeah, I'd be interested to see if you guys ever see it, what you think about it. Definitely is giving like Saltburn vibes, where it's just like everyone else liked it and I didn't, and I feel weird about it.
Interesting. Feels like horror movies definitely get hyped like that. Like, oh, this is ranked the #1 horror movie of all time.
Yeah,
and then it's just
that's why I'm like,
we should do a #1. We should do a greatest hits horror episode.
That would be fun.
Halloween is right around the corner.
There's a few on my list.
I'd have to not be a little bitch and actually watch more horror movies.
Yeah, we need to watch a few. At one point, we all need to watch Smile.
Yeah, I never did see that.
I did see a trailer for Smile 2. They're making a Smile 2.
Really?
Smile
maybe.
1 looks... Even the trailer's too scary to get through, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right, boys.
That's sick, though.
I only have one thing to share with you for my free-for-all.
What's good?
Just a little perspective thing. Just not long. But Manny Jacinto, the actor of Camille in The Acolyte.
Oh, yeah.
He was, I guess, asked about the reception of it. And this is just a direct quote from him, which I saw and I wanted to share with you all.
Word.
He said, "It's a cycle. With everything that's come out since the original trilogy," referring to Star Wars, "there's always a very passionate group that doesn't like change, that wants the same feeling they experienced when they were kids. Only now they've grown up and their taste has matured and they're more critical about art or the world. And then they are just more precious about the things that they experienced when they were younger."
Do you feel like he was targeting you, Devin?
That
He's not
with
wrong.
The fact that a certain vice presidential candidate at the same time was had a famous tweet about The Last Jedi not being good.
Yeah.
It has led me to reassess some things in my life.
Maybe it's not that serious.
I'm willing to now admit that The Last Jedi could have been a good movie for some people, and I'm happy other people enjoyed it.
Wow, this is progress.
This is
oh
a
my
history
God.
in the making episode right
I
here.
never thought I'd see the day.
Listen, Manny Jacinto's not wrong, okay? We all long for the innocence of youth. And now we understand
clutch our pearls, Yeah.
That's every fandom ever speaking about anything that's lasted more than 5 years, essentially. That they'll always complain about it wasn't as good as the Wonder Years. There are no Wonder Years. You were just 12 and you had infinite time. That's the only real difference.
Let's face the fact that no one thought Hayden Christensen was very good, and now we love him and we clamor for more of him.
The prequels are sacred, even though
Let's not forget about the fact.
I mean, I even talk about the original trilogy. I make fun of Mark Hamill. That man fucking used to throw his lines out like he never rehearsed them. Yeah. And we're just like, that man, 10 out of 10.
Right.
Okay.
It has a certain sacred space because it's when we were all kids. But new stuff comes, just enjoy it. It's going to be a little different. I will try to keep this perspective going.
Give it 5 years. Give it 5 to 10 years, and there'll be kids that are going to be nostalgic for the Eternals movie, a movie that most people did not like because that was everything is everyone's first something, and that there's a group of kids that saw Eternals and it was like their first comic book movie and thought it was the coolest shit they had ever seen.
That's a wild statement. I don't agree with the idea of that, but
it's true. Just not to go too far off.
Just that movies.
Not to go too far off tangent, but when it comes to Halo, and just like someone that's played Halo since the original game, when Halo 3 came out, we called them Halo 3 kids. Like, God, those fucking Halo 3 kids. They only know Halo 3. They don't know Halo 2.
Yeah, totally.
The best one. Halo 4 kids, you don't know Halo Reach. You're not a good Reach.
Right.
And now there's people that are like, I love Halo 5. No one loved Halo 5. That game sold like 3 copies. But there's kids that are like, man, I really miss Halo 5. That's when this game was good. It's like, that's crazy. As someone that's played all the other Halos that are way better than that one, I'm like, I don't.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
If that's your first one.
Yeah.
And we should be critical. I think it's okay to be critical sometimes, right? Like Halo 5, there was no need to add iron sights. But at the same time, just, just try to get some enjoyment out of it.
And people like shit what they like.
Don't be too hard on it.
And what are you going to do about it?
Like, I like what they like.
I love bad stuff. I'm a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. So I know what bad shit is.
Right.
I still like it.
Fair enough.
So I
think we need to draw. I think where we draw the line is tweeting at the director, Devin.
And nobody did that.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Dang, I actually did it again for the Halo shit.
Oh no!
I tweeted at one of the writers.
Oh,
you're the reason why it got canceled. You're the reason it's canceled.
Oh shit!
I was like, why is your show so bad?
That's really funny.
Or something similar.
I just think that he has like a no-face account. That's just like
I literally have like 3 posts, and it's just
just being a dick.
directors. Like I had to like find my login for Twitter.
You know how you balance that out, Devin? You compliment someone that when they make something good. That's how you balance that one out.
Because right now you're just like a troll account.
I think it is a troll. I mean, it is literally a troll account. Like,
Oh my god!
there's nothing else of substance on it.
That
that's
can't be good.
hilarious.
That can't be good.
That is cool. I mean, that is an even deeper topic to get into, but like I do like that. I do enjoy that a lot.
We should talk about fandoms. Trolls. Yeah, to some extent.
But I think I mean, Manny just summed it up pretty well. It's a very good.
Yeah, I like that quote.
I think that's a very good like take on the whole problem of like toxic fandom, and he's right.
Yeah.
Like, you can't stop it from changing. You just enjoy it for the ride. And like to his point, the Acolyte, going into it with that perspective, I enjoyed it. Right? Was it like my favorite Star Wars thing? No, but I enjoyed the story and I liked a lot of stuff in it. And if you just sit there and you're negative, you're not going to be able to enjoy anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Life
it goes
lessons.
into everything. It's like with, I mean, even when like different eras of Superman, like or Superman or Batman. Who's your Batman? A lot of people our generation would be Christian Bale. He's our Batman. There's a lot of people who would be like Michael Keaton. He's my Batman. Because why? Because I saw him when I was 14 years old.
Right.
So yeah. I don't know. Very interesting. I like that, Devin. That was cool. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Wanted to share it with you all.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for that. That is the show, listeners. We have done it once again. You can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com, fortress.four. Feel free to email us any feedback, questions, recommendations, or anything like that. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and the Instagram at the Fortress of. You tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Follow the 3 Bollywood R's, rate, review, and recommend us to anyone and everyone you know. Thank you, Jackie, for helping edit the podcast every week. Brian for the art, Alex for the music, and Devin, thank you for being here, even when you're watching the Olympics most of the time. You can find Brian on Instagram at ITZ_ by the way, Alex at Peterson Films, and Devin at number 1 ping pong watcher for right now.
Go China.
Next week, I don't know. We could round out The Boys season 4. We could finish up House of the Dragon season 2. We could do something completely fucking different. We got a lot. We got. I think we've hit a lull in the content. Thank goodness. So we got a lot of time to make some shit up. So it should be fun. Fun couple weeks coming up.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Lastly, happy birthday to Oscar.
Happy birthday, Oscar.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
guys.
Party.
Appreciate it. Great time. Love you guys.
Cheers.
Next.
Cheers.
And as usual, happy holidays, listeners. And put a code on this code out there. Thanks for 150.
Star Wars has always sucked.
Wow.
What did you say?
On that note, we'll see you here next week on another episode in the Fortress of...
You heard me. Star Wars has always sucked.
Oh.
I said what I said.